Hey everybody, Ryan here coming back at you with another review after taking a day off for a few days. So that means taking a few days off. So I'm back. Today, sorry about the camera angle. I actually left my tripod downstairs. I already had it set up. So I figured a change of camera angle is okay. You can see some of the books and posters in the background. So it's all good. Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about another one of my favorite films. Today is the film from 1995, F. Gary Gray's Friday. Okay, today we're talking about F. Gary Gray's Friday from 1995. Now, this is a pretty mainstream film for some of these films I've been talking about. This is one that you always see on TV. You always hear people talking about it. It's just one of the great comedies of the 90s. I actually think that in some ways it was kind of underrated at the time, but has since become a pretty big cult classic, even though the film itself made a decent amount of money when it came out. But I've always really loved this film ever since I first saw it on USA Network back in the late 90s before Next Friday came out. And every time it was on TV, I watched it. There's something about those movies that take place within a 24-hour period. Another film on this list, Do the Right Thing, Friday. There's a ton of films that take place like in one day. And I love those kind of films. And so this actually started my love of those kind of films just because the whole premise of just getting together, hanging out, and just following these characters throughout their day, even though some stuff, I mean, it's not really eventful other than some of the random things that happen and some of the story arcs of other characters. It's just like if you woke up and there's a camera there for all the little events that happen throughout your day. And that's why I was kind of glued to the TV the first time I saw this. So we have, for those of you who haven't seen it, Friday is about Ice Cube's character named Craig. I'm talking like that and saying his name like that because last night I watched an episode of Psych, one of my favorite shows, where one of the characters in the show was named Craig. And they were like, okay, hey, Craig. And Craig was like, no, have you seen Friday? It's like, Craig. So, anyways, that's Ice Cube's character, Craig, that got fired the previous day, and so he's just waking up. He's kind of um, doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, his dad's always on him about not doing certain chores and stuff, and how he needs to get up and get another job because he got fired, and he should do this, that. And we have a sister who's kind of like a popular girl, like, and so she gets up, she's getting her hair done and stuff, and they have a really interesting relationship, Craig and her sister, because they always kind of riff off each other and joke to each other and stuff like that. And I don't know if she's in I don't know if she's in high school at the time, like the character herself, or maybe in school. I can't remember how old she is. I've seen this movie a million times, but I can't remember. Does she go to work or does she go to high school or college? I forget. I completely forgot. Um, but yeah, so Ice Cube's just chilling, and he has a friend down the street named Smokey, played by Chris Tucker, and he's like a huge stoner. And so basically, the film is about them getting together and just hanging out on Craig's front porch. Meanwhile, Smokey owes money to a drug dealer, and so his life has been threatened. So the movie itself, the plot, even though it's a bunch of random events, is about Craig and Smokey trying to figure out how to save Smokey in this situation. And so, meanwhile, there's other characters like Debo, who's like the local neighborhood bully, I guess you could say. He's always stealing people's stuff and using his size and intimidation to get what he wants. And so there's like a bunch of stuff with that. But the standouts in this movie to me is John Witherspoon as Craig's father and Chris Tucker, who a lot of people talk about Chris Tucker when you're talking about the Friday movies. I happen to really like Mike Epps in the second two. I'm not really the biggest fan of the third movie, but Friday and Next Friday are ones I really like. Next Friday is a lot more unrealistic, but it's still hilarious to me. So, um, but John Witherspoon is probably my favorite character in this whole movie. Just he's so quotable. Um, yeah, so you have it's just guys hanging out, and that's what always drew me to this movie. guys hanging out and, just seeing what they get themselves up to. That's pretty much the gist of this movie. F. Gary Gray has gone on to, he directed like The Negotiator with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson. He did the latest Fast and the Furious movie. I'm pretty sure he did the latest Fast and the Furious movie. And he also directed Straight Outta Compton. So he's a pretty good filmmaker. Well, he's a great filmmaker. And, you know, I'm not sure if this was his first movie, but it's a very solid start to a pretty promising career since his movies have made so much money. And he's always pretty much had success. I've always been a F. Gary Gray fan. Oh, he also did, what's that? The Inside Job? No, I'm trying to think of what is that movie that has it's the Italian Job. The Inside Job was Spike Lee and Denzel Washington. The Inside Job, or no, the Italian Job is what he directed. Um, so he's a good filmmaker by far, and this was a great film for him to start out with. But yeah, John Witherspoon. This movie is so quotable. You hear, I mean, gosh, I could. This is also one of those movies I could quote every line from. My favorite part. There's gonna be some cursing. My favorite quote in this film is at the beginning when Craig is talking to his mom, and his mom, is like, "I didn't tell your father you lost your job," and all of a sudden they're sitting at the table, and all of a sudden you hear, "Craig, come in here," and Craig looks at his mom like, "You did tell him. That's why he's calling me." And so he goes, and his dad's in the bathroom, and he's like, and he walks in, and he goes, "Oh, I'll wait until you get out." And John Witherspoon goes, "Boy, bring your ass in here. You, or wait, boy, bring your ass in here. I've been smelling your shit for 22 years, and you can't smell mine for 5 minutes. Get in here." And it makes me laugh every single time. Then they have this serious conversation while John Witherspoon's on the toilet, and and Craig is just like covering his nose. That part of the movie just cracks me up every single time. Another funny part to me is when I don't know, the movie's just filled with funny parts, and if you've seen it and you like it, you know what I'm talking about. Let me know what your favorite Friday movie is down below. Let me know what your favorite Friday quote is down below, and why do you like this movie down below. If you didn't like the movie, let me know down below. If you want to say hey down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Plenty more content coming in my top 250 favorite films series. So, take care, guys. See you next time.